Well, a win is a win. A win is a win. And it was not a very pretty win, but a lot in the NFL, there wasn't a lot of pretty wins, and it was a grinding, hard-working win for a team that was deficit. Was had really a lot of injuries on this team, man. Maxx Crosby, their star players gone. Devante Adams. So we're talking the Raiders versus the Cleveland Browns, and excuse me, guys. Like, whew, it definitely wasn't as hard to watch this game than the Carolina Panthers. There was a lot of good stuff in here. I mean, I was looking forward to this game without the stars just because I wanted to see how this team responded. I wanted to see who was hungry for the win. You had Devante Adams, like I said, out, might be out for a couple of weeks. At this point, man, I really don't see the optimistic side of the Raiders season. I'm always going to root, and I'm always going to say that, with teams like this, I still believe that we could win this game, and we did. It was a not nail biter, of course, like always. But I always believe that we have a chance to win. But with the season and how it's going and the QB play and just how you can kind of see how the team is at this point, there could always be a hot streak towards the end of the season, but maybe we do look for trades, man, for Devante Adams. I love that he wants to be still a Raider, but clearly he gets frustrated a lot. He's not very happy being a Raider, and the times he is happy is when we win, but it's very hard to come by with wins. And I just think at this point, especially since now he's injured, like I know a lot of teams out there would love to have him. So what can we get out of him? I think we should have done it last year, ship him off, try to get some draft picks and stuff. But he's with us, and if he really is truly wants to stay with the Raiders, and he has no problem of the season is not to his liking, not up to his standards, then good for him, man. That's a Raider right there. You're stick with the ship, whether it's going up or down or sinking down below. Maxx Crosby, he wanted to be out there. I have no fault for Maxx Crosby. Sometimes you got to rest, big dog. Sometimes you got to see the bigger picture, and you have to just sit back a little bit in order to regain strength for the next battle ahead, especially big battles like KC, who's at this point undefeated, which is ridiculous. And then we had the question. The really interesting thing was Michael Mayer, man. Michael Mayer, personal reasons. I don't know what the personal reasons is. A lot of reports saying he's unhappy. His usage, I think his usage is drastically different than I thought they were going to use him this season. A lot of Raider fans thought maybe we'd use the two tight ends to their capabilities. Michael Mayer can catch the ball. He could go on routes. I think he's a better blocker out of the two between him and Brock. And Brock didn't even have a very good game. He dropped one. He was looking upfield before catching the ball. And he could have had some major yardage on that particular play in the opening drive. But he didn't have a big game, man. He had, one reception, 12 yards. So with Michael Mayer, I'm confused like everybody else. And obviously, we're saying that Getsy has to go, man. Getsy's play calling is really horrendous. It's really bad. I don't know if it's because this is the team he has to work with, but there is a lot of speed on this team. There's a lot of great potential on this team. The line came up a little bit more against the Cleveland Browns. We actually got 10 yards a run. Another issue on this game, and we're going to talk about the game and stuff, but I wanted to just kind of talk about, Michael Mayer and how that situation is and how I don't want to see it. If it is frustration and his role in the team, that I don't want to see Michael Mayer upset like that, because that guy's a stud, and I want to keep Michael Mayer. I think that was actually a really good draft pick. So I'm very disheartened if that is the case, but it could also just be personal reasons. I will say, though, the interesting thing is, with Antonio Pierce saying that, business decisions and all that stuff, that's why I was looking forward to this game to see who are the real fighters in this game, and you got to give big props to Wilkinson stepping up when he needed to step in. Snowden really stepping up, get that guy more playing time. And then you also had Spillane, man. Spillane is the heart and soul of that Raider defense. He had a game today. So Spillane's always coming in hungry. He was always meant to be a Raider. The one thing, though, that was interesting was the opening defensive I won't say drive, but the first reps for the defense, the first drive for Cleveland Browns is that Jack Jones was sat. He was benched until later on. So that's super interesting. Jack Jones does talk a lot, you know. We saw the one play where he missed the tackle. A lot of people were saying that business decisions was going to Jack, and Jack hasn't been playing up to his potential like we thought he was going to so far this season. So hopefully the fire is up his ass, and when he was in a defensive place, he really did work. So I think Jack Jones will be fine. It's just very interesting that, hey, you know, Antonio Pierce is not playing around here. The one thing I do like about the Raiders in this game was a nail biter. Once again, Cleveland had a shot to win the game. We don't go to overtime because the Cleveland kicker missed the extra point. That's why we're up by 4. But stupid decisions by the Raiders and Raiders shit that continues to happen throughout the years happened in this game. But the things I will say I like is the offensive line finally did a better job blocking when it came to the run blocks, and we got a little bit more yardage. Even Zamir White, my God, took him 17 tries, but his ass got 50 yards. Here's my issue, though. Here's the little double-edged sword. I did like finally the offensive line productive. I did like the run game better this time around. This is probably the best run game, but the problem is I love Zamir White. I thought this guy, I really believed in this guy, but you could really tell after all these games is that you got to give it to Madison. Madison is just a better overall feel, even though and less attempts and got more yards than Zamir White. Madison just kind of changes the feeling of the run game and then even of the pass game. So Zamir White, man, he's just not clicking. He's not clicking. I don't know if it's his confidence issue. I really do believe in the guy. He won that KC game for us last year. So seeing Zamir White struggle so bad, even with the offensive line being that terrible, breaks my heart. But I've seen enough to where I say you gotta start Madison, AP. You gotta start Madison. A lot of these cold starts are getting ridiculous. If you continue to have these cold starts when you play the game, it's gonna end up like Carolina Panthers. Or you're not gonna be as lucky against the Ravens next time. You know, Ravens were dominant today. You play that team today, we get our ass whooped because Derek Carr was going off. So I know we didn't have the Maxx Crosby and stuff, but the run game a little bit better. But you gotta switch out Madison with Zamir White, or Zamir out, Madison in. Jacoby Myers still a moneymaker, still Mr. Reliable. Hunter Renfrow, word up, he's gone, but Jacoby Myers is my guy. The guy continues to be there when you need him. Receptions, yards, good big plays. He did miss a couple. Minshew, kind of inconsistent. I really feel like Minshew, I love the guy, but I just feel like maybe Aiden delivers those passes more accurate. There was a couple times where Minshew threw and it was just a little bit too high. Receiver got it. Jacoby, I believe, got it, brought it down, but it's just too high for your. These are really surgery balls, like Devante Adams was talking about. These are balls that are going. You have to go up, and that defender's right there is about to smack you. So Minshew's got to do a better job accuracy wise, and it kind of sucks because I think Aiden's just a better accurate pocket passer. But the problem is too, is the offensive line is so bad that Minshew had to scramble quite a bit in this game. So it wasn't just him staying in pocket and throwing darts. He had to scramble. There was one play he had to roll to the right, and he barely fitted in the window. I can't remember who it was to. But I think it was Jacoby Myers. It might have been Trey, but he fits it right in there, barely. barely in there. Defender, I thought that was a pick. Barely fits it in there, but he did use his legs. So he made some plays. No touchdowns, though. No interceptions, which is fantastic. But Minshew, to win playoff games, you got to do a little bit more. The defense, if the defense is absolutely like elite, ranked number one in the NFL, you don't have to worry too much on the QB play. But since we aren't, as we thought we were going to be this season so far, you got to have good QB play. And Minshew had inconsistent, but he didn't turn over the ball. But there was times, man, where especially the timeout, which blowing out, leaving us with what, one timeout or two timeouts, I can't remember. But in that situation, I believe it was like 3rd and 1, and you're using a timeout and you're trying to draw them off sides. You change up the play, you change up the call on the line. So I didn't know what was going on right there. Obviously, AP was so frustrated. Did not. I don't know what I got to hear his press conference, but I didn't know what was going on in that particular moment. I'm sure one of the reporters asked him that. I still think the time management is not doing it's not good, man. I don't know if AP's really calling those shots and really kind of saying like, hey, we're gonna use a timeout here, spike the ball, blah blah blah. Or it's are these other coaches, these other guys that are helping him out. I don't know what is like. He should have made that call where said, hey, you need to change up the play if they don't jump offside. So I don't understand it. It's wasting timeouts. It could have really bit us in the ass at the end, especially if Cleveland took the lead. Luckily, the defense gave some stops. I mean, he had a pick. Defense looked really hungry today with Morik grabbing a pick, Amari Cooper gifting us another drop pass. That's what Amari's known for, coming back to, playing against the Raiders. And thank you, Amari Cooper, everybody. So there's some good things in here, but there's some really, like, this is a team that is as dysfunctional as well. Deshaun Watson, I think he's lost that locker room. So a win is a win. It wasn't a very clean. I wish we would have got maybe at least one more score to make me feel a little bit more confident that the team's going the right way. But this team kind of barely held on, and it easily could have went the other way if the kicker didn't miss the extra point and we went into overtime. Then I would have been a little bit more scared, because this offense doesn't scare me, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't scare a lot of NFL teams out there. A lot of times when these NFL teams play the Raiders, they're not scared of the Raiders. And I love the mentality that AP is trying to go for. And I think the defense has stepped it up even more from last year. And the offense is working its way. But this team is not scary to me. It's not something. It's some there. I thought, when going into the playoffs, the Raiders would be a scary team to face. But if this is the team right now that's going into the playoffs and going in wild card or round one, whatever, they're getting easily knocked out. They're getting smacked. So another thing, I guess key things is the speed. I love the speed, with Trey Tucker, DJ Turner. Really, I would have loved to see more of like a deep threat, but having a little bit of going to the side and getting these touchdowns with speed, I like. I think these are two individuals that could absolutely be a weapon. I was looking forward to see how it goes, but the pass game is still not, it's the situation with our QBs and our play calling, our offensive line. The offense is just not there, man. It's so frustrating. We do all these moves, we make drafts, and it's been stale for so many years, and it doesn't matter who's coaching, whether it's Josh McDaniels or AP. Really, really bad offense. And I know everybody's going to be saying, oh, JD Daniels, we could have got him, but it is what it is. We tried. We really tried, guys. We really tried to go after Fields, too. It is what it is. It is what it is. You just got to do what you got to do, what you have right now. There's no point of crying over the fact that Carr is with the Saints or blah, blah, blah. Just deal what you got. You have the cards that are dealt. Make some shit up, man. So it's hard to look forward to the rest of the season, just the way how much we haven't really progressed throughout the weeks. The best thing about this game is the hunger, the desire, the Raiders that are not hurt actually stepping up and getting this W. But as much as it's impressive to win against the Ravens, Cleveland is a team that you should beat, just like you should have beat Carolina. And to say to be absolutely thrilled that we beat Cleveland by 4. That is something that this team still has to look deep down inside and say, like, we need to produce more points. The offense, especially, the offense got to get it, man. If the offense is not getting it, and if we continue, the run game is not where it needs to be, the play calling is not where it needs to be. The Minshew really needs to really sling it. If this is still the same throughout all these weeks, we're in trouble. We're in trouble right now. But I'll take the win. A win is a win. We're 2-2. But I want to compete. And I think all us Raider fans want to compete. I love the dog that they showed today. I love the players that we got to see that are not star players step it up. I love the fact that we're 2-2. I love the fact that we're kind of back in the mindset of winning, and that's the best mindset to be in going to the next game, no matter the opponent it is. It's good to have that mindset that gives you a leg up, Antonio Pierce, to really get your players ready. You could use that motivation. It was a dog fight of a win. We've seen this before. We need to see more. So we will see next game. Great pressure on Deshaun Watson. Raiders did get. Oh, there's like 2 Raiders I got. I think it was Madison. It was Madison one and Abdul, I believe, in the other. I can't remember, but smacked. Raider players got smacked. Disheartening too is Tyree Wilson. A couple plays, seeing his ass on the floor. Lyman just kicking his ass. I need more, man. We're rooting for this guy, but this guy's not really producing. Snowden produced more than this guy, and I'm sure he had a couple pressures and stuff, but I need results, baby. But the Raiders did come to play when it comes to the defensive side, and the offense did what they needed to do. That's my little key things that I remember, and, it is what it is, guys. We got our win. Let's move on to the next one. Let's continue to get better. I don't know if Devante is going to play in the next game. I'm assuming he's not. It seemed like it was a 2-week kind of thing. Maxx Crosby, I don't know how severe his ankle is. If it's still bugging him, I would probably... It's hard because Maxx is the hardest soul of that defense too. But you got other guys that are stepping up, so I would probably sit him to at least until he's a hundo, because obviously when you don't see him at 100% and he's playing like that Carolina game, there was no explosion getting off the ball, didn't look himself. Even a 50% Maxx Crosby, as much as I love him in there and the leadership he has, you got to take care of your star players like him, especially him. Very key. So that's my thoughts on it. Good win. Ugly win, but I'll take it. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, subscribed to the channel. We really appreciate it. Like the video if you like it, and comment below. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts on the whole team. What do you think about what's going to happen the rest of the season? How do you feel about this win? So thank you guys. I'm Danny Making Son. Till we talk Raider football. I'm out of here, guys.